The one and only Nick Kaz of Kaz Garage. Welcome back to the channel. Today is going to be a great video. We are going to Barber Motorsports Park and Vintage Racing Museum in Birmingham, Alabama. So today we're going to go there. We're going to check out some vintage cars, see some racing history, and see some really cool things about the racetrack, and hopefully it'll make for a good video. But first things first, we are going to go get some food at one of my favorite fast food joints that I've been to since I grew up here in Alabama, and that's Milo's Burgers. They got some great sweet tea, great some burgers, and they have like this cheese dust stuff that goes on french fries, and it's the most incredible thing ever. I love it. Every time I come to Birmingham, Alabama to visit family, I go here and it just makes me the happiest thing ever. So we're gonna go there, we're gonna get some lunch first, and then we're gonna go to the motorsports park, and we'll stay tuned. So see you guys in a minute. And just like that, guys, here we are at Barber Motorsports Park and Museum, and I absolutely love it here so far. This place is absolutely incredible. Look at all of these vintage and even modern motorcycles. There's so much heritage in here, and I am just in awe of the history here. So Barber Motorsports Park Museum has 5 full floors of all motorcycles and vintage cars and motorsports history. Guys, this is incredible. I hope you guys can hear it in my voice. This is absolutely amazing. So I'm not quite sure where to start. They're going to recommend that you guys start on the 5th floor and work your way down, so you guys can see a little bit of everything. So I'm going to take as many videos and as much time as I can to film and to photograph some of these incredible works of art here. They even have a view of the track. Isn't that amazing, guys? So we're gonna keep walking around, keep looking at some of these things, and I'm gonna document as much as I can, so stick with us, guys. This thing right here, I wonder if you guys can spot or tell me in the comments below where this bike is from. This bike is a really famous bike. It's absolutely legendary. And for all you motorcycle people out there, what generation is this bike? There's 2 distinct generations of this bike and why they're so special. Isn't that cool? What's the difference between that one and that one? But yeah, guys, so like I said, I'm not a big motorcycle guy, but I'm a car guy. And the reason why I like this track so much is because I grew up in and out of Birmingham, Alabama because of my family. And I never got a chance to come to the racetrack, mainly because of just time conflicts. And not only that, you know, motorsports in general is just pretty expensive. So even as a spectator now, it's starting to get a little bit up there in price. So I remember watching like Daytona prototypes from the Rolex 24-hour series come to this racetrack. The American Le Mans series used to come to this racetrack a lot. I think they still do. I have to get up to date on the new racing schedule. But man, like, you can just feel the you know, the history of this track. Now later on I'm gonna tell you guys a little bit more details about the track. It's fairly large, it's fairly flat, and it's very fast. And it started out originally as a vintage well, not really vintage, but it started out obviously as a motorcycle park for racing. And then, you know, one thing led to another, and next thing you know, there's cars out here racing down the back straightaway of this racetrack. And then what makes this track so special too is that there are a few off-camber corners that really kind of upset your car, and it makes it kind of difficult to get in there and find the apex of that corner and drive that car into that corner, hit that apex, and then get out of there and find that, like, that last 1/10 of a second, so that you can get the fastest lap time or race properly. So, but like I said, guys, so we're just gonna keep walking around. So like I said, guys, like I said, I'm still here on the 5th floor, but there's some really interesting bikes here. Like, see, this is a BMW, but this is a shaft-driven motorcycle. I believe this is 1930s. Yep, 1933 BMW R4. One of the other cool things I saw is that this seat is a spring seat and is an inverted spring. So as the seat goes down, here, these springs stretch out and it gives you. Like I said, I'm not really a motorcycle guy, so I don't really know a whole lot about them. This is a BMW R90S. Again, it's another shaft-driven bike. You know, I didn't really know shaft-driven bikes were a big thing. I guess on like the Honda Goldwings and the bigger cruisers and stuff like that, that they were, but you know, that's just not my thing. Oh, but here's another thing. I turn around in buildings and check this out. You look all the way down to the first floor. Oh wait, no, well, the floor below you, but still, you can kind of see the display below you, which is super neat. I like to geek out on things like that. I'm a little weird about that kind of thing, but you know, I'm still working my way around, and I spotted this really cool bench here. Looks like a motorcycle wheel on the tire. So, all right, well, let's go ahead and get on to the next floor. That's pretty neat. You guys kind of get a quick glimpse into the world of drag racing with these motorcycles. So here it is. We are on the third floor of the exhibit, and the third floor is 1960s to current models. So I know we've seen a lot of current models upstairs, but I was on the fifth floor, and that was like international and special events. And this, you'll really start to see on this floor some of the more modern bikes, like this Goldwing trike from Honda. These are really kind of cool. Not quite my style, mainly because they are inherently unstable by the configuration of the wheels, but like this Can-Am, this is a little bit more stable because you have the steering and wide track suspension up front with your single wheel in the back that is your source of propulsion. Ducatis, I've always kind of have a soft spot for Ducatis because they're just kind of, you know, kind of cool Italian bike manufacturer, and I like them because you can see a lot of times on the old ones you can see the frame here, that's not too covered up by the body work here, so you get to see that frame, and most famously that single sided swing arm. It's just the coolest thing ever. A lot of Ducati bikes here. So you still get some BMW, you still get some foreign bikes, but mainly you get a snapshot from the past and you get a snapshot of the present. I think the newest bike in here I've seen was even a 2019. So this museum does a fantastic job of annotating what is the bike, when it was produced, how fast it is, what kind of motor is in the bike, what type of brakes, what type of suspension, all the stuff that a motorcycle fan would always appreciate. MV Agusta. I've never really heard of MV Agusta. I'm not, like I said, I'm not a motorcycle guy. But some really fantastic bikes in here. I don't know, guys, and maybe once I leave this museum, if I ever do, I might be turning into a motorcycle guy. 300 horsepower on two wheels, man, that's insane. 220 miles an hour. That's absolutely insane. That's so fast. Oh, check this out. It's kind of got like its own like little bubble. It's even got seat belts and like little side crash bar things. This is basically a giant scooter, if I'm not mistaken. Let's see what this is. BMW C1, made in Germany. It's kind of like a crossover vehicle is what it's saying. Huh. I'm gonna keep coming back to the spot right here, guys. This is the track. It's even got a skyway from, looks like the second floor to the middle infield. Anywho, like I said, this is such a cute, cool exhibit. Look at this tool wall. I don't know if it really serves any purpose. Maybe it does. There's no plaque on there to curate it. So maybe these are the tools they use to maintain the bikes, maybe? Oh no, they're all tied up. Oh well. Please do not touch. My wife needs to put a bunch of little signs around the house. I'll just carry one with her so she can just stick it on stuff, because I have a tendency to just go like touch, just a bugger. Typical husband thing. Harley Davidson toolkits. Almost set of cards though. That's what we're really here for. So I'm gonna break a rule and touch. It's real dirt, but it's kind of cool. Man, displays are, like I said, guys, the displays in this museum are absolutely incredible. You really kind of get a feel for what the environment that these bikes raced in, and you also get some cool little engineering bits like that. It's a good thing nobody's sitting underneath this glass, because then they would see me filming and that'd be super awkward. It's already awkward enough as it is when somebody kind of catches you. But I'm having a blast. I'm hoping you guys are enjoying this. All right, so we are finally in the automotive section, and as soon as you make the right into the museum and you go right on the second floor, I believe, there is this amazing Lotus exhibit. This is so cool, man. Lotus Caterham had this amazing display of some of their cars and engines set vertically. Some of the Formula cars. Famous 1956 Lotus 11, chassis number 214. Has this really neat wall here with a bunch of Lotus model cars and stuff like that. You even got a giant life-size Lotus model. That's pretty neat. You imagine trying to punch those pieces out. But look at this wall, guys. I mean, this wall's full of all these like little cars. All these like little neat little cars here. And that one right there, that's pretty funny. Got the famous Lotus Renault livery from their Formula cars. Oh yeah, so that noise in the background too is that TV right there. And they have either actual or replica cars from their first cars that Lotus ever produced. I think when I watched the video, I think he said this one and this one, the Mark 1 and Mark 2, were faithful replicas of the cars. But back then, when these cars were produced, they were all handmade. No like mass production, no stamped steel, no none of that. You even had early flat bottom cars. Interesting thing about flat bottom cars too is that when you have a smoother bottom, the car shape naturally acts like an airplane wing, almost in reverse though. So when you smooth out the bottom of the car like this, it creates a low pressure area underneath the car, and that sucks you down to the ground. but there's no really top aero of the car. Aerodynamics back then weren't really a thing until, you know, motorsports history really progressed quickly, and you started to come up with cars like these that really were the forefront of formula cars and really high downforce racing cars that we have today, even right down to the racing slicks that still have bunched up rubber. Still have bunched up rubber when the car raced back in 1970. 1970, guys. This is amazing. Amazing. Uh-oh, camera's messing up. Camera is messing up. Another Judd V8. If I'm not mistaken, these things rev out to like 11,000, 12,000 RPM. These are used a lot in the Indy cars and formula cars of the day, of the era. Oh, here we go. We'll go in this car right here. You have Ford V8 for Formula One of the era. See all these formula cars. another life-size model. Okay, so we are almost done going through the museum, and I just wanted to stop and check out some of these cars. There's a lot of Lotus here at the museum, and I think they're absolutely incredible. Like this one, IMSA supercar, Lotus Esprit X180R. It's on 300 horsepower, and it's only a 4-cylinder, but that 4-cylinder sure looks a lot like a V8 back there. Yeah, look at the interior. It's got this Alcantara like material covering the dash, I guess, to cut down the glare. Big old bar in the middle, some padding on the roll bars to protect the driver. That's awesome. Some of these cars are really from a time where freeform and building bodies by hand were the norm. And not that they aren't today, but you really see the level of craftsmanship and dedication they had to the craft of making these cars as perfect as they can, and all by hand. So it's really something to be to behold of. And just like that, guys, we are done with our time here at the Barber Motorsports Museum. I absolutely had a blast here. There's so much heritage here, so much racing memorabilia. You can actually see a lot of the racetrack from the 2nd and 3rd floor, even all the way up to the 5th floor. And if you remember, you can actually go out onto the bridge, you make that left, you go down a little ways, and you'll actually see almost 270 degrees of viewing of the track. Sorry about the shaky cam. They don't allow selfie sticks or stabilizers or backpacks for that matter. You have to check them when you get into the door. It is an amazing event to take your time to go through, see all these vintage cars and motorcycles, see some real true racing history here in the United States. I highly suggest that you take your friends, your family, or yourself just here one time and check it out. It's definitely worth the $16 it is to get in. If you're a member, it's 10% off. But here it is again. I want you guys to stay tuned for more motorsports content. I'm gonna do my best to bring you guys as much as I can. So like, share, comment, and subscribe. Tell all your friends about the channel. Let's help us grow, and so we can bring you more content. All right, guys, sorry for the abrupt ending on that one. I ran out of memory when I was filming the outro to that, but nonetheless, I really appreciate you guys watching these videos. As always, like, share, comment, and subscribe, and we'll see you guys on the next one.